All right, welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Um, I know it's a Friday. Uh, Usually, you don't have a lot going on in the way of something productive or whatever it is. So I appreciate you joining us this evening. I just wanted to start off by sharing a few house rules for as a way for other people to join us. Um, use a headset if possible, in case you become unmuted or whatever. We won't be able to hear echoes. That will help us a lot. And remain muted unless you intend to speak or say something. And in the chat, please be kind to one another. We're all human beings, and even if you don't intend to, even if you don't have the worst intentions, someone can easily mistake that. So treat others as you wish to be treated in the chat, and be present, be active, and ask questions. We're here to answer your questions, all of them, and yeah, that's it. Here are our social media channels. You can find us on Twitter at DSCUMU, Instagram DSCUMU, Facebook facebook.com/DSCUMU, and would love for you to be tweeting and getting the word out during this event. Use the hashtags DSCUMU, Developer Students Club, and tag Google devs, Google developers, and at Google students in your tweet. Let's get the word out. Let's get tweeting. Okay, I'd like to formally welcome all of you to the virtual launch of the Developer Student Club at Uganda Martyrs University. It's the first time our university has had such a club, and we have the honor of being the pioneers of this club. Would have loved to launch with a bigger bang, but this is 2020. This is the state of things. We're going to have to do it online. Yeah, we won't let that stop us. Okay, my name is Norbert Lukwai. I am a computer science student at, you guessed it, Uganda Martyrs University, and I am the lead of the DSC UMU chapter. I am an Android developer, so my trade, my craft, how I'm defined is Android developer. Although along the life's not perfect. Along the way, you do other things. You do web and graphics and all those things. So yeah. I hope I'm audible enough for everyone. If not, I hope I'm audible enough for everyone. I'm kind of stalling a bit. People are still joining in. So yeah. While I'm still going to explain this again, let me just give a quick overview of what DSC is for us who have joined early. So DSC is a university-based student program for people who are interested in Google Developer Technologies. Now, what do I mean by Google Developer Technologies? I mean stuff that developers use to create the products that we use. So websites and apps mainly. So Google has a whole suite of things. They've spent a lot of time and a lot of money. Very really smart people have taken the time to build these products for us to use. So they decided, it's a good thing if other people have ideas, and we'd love to see what other people can do with these tools. So they created developer tools for all of us. To list some of them, we have Android, which is the one I think everyone knows. A lot of people use Android phones, and yeah, it's the one platform where you that is really known world over. Then you have Flutter, which helps you build you write apps for Android, iOS, and the web. You build it once, and then you can deploy it elsewhere. Because traditionally, you'd have to build for Android, then you go build some custom code for iOS, and then you have to do the same for web. Flutter lets you do that in one place. Besides that, they have the cloud platform. The cloud platform of recent has become really, really popular and mainstream, and pretty much everyone's doing it. What the cloud platform allows developers to do is to have a centralized place where they can write their code and deploy it. So it helps you really manage how you design your solutions, your programs, your apps, your websites. Then we have machine learning, which is basically artificial intelligence, and there's a lot of brilliant things you can do with machine learning. I've seen people build farming programs where a computer sorts out the healthy crops in a harvest or not. That's just one example. And then there is image recognition. My phone, I can take a picture of my dog, and my phone can tell me which breed of dog that is. That's because the machine learned how to do that. Let's see. We are at 20 people. It's not the biggest crowd, but let's begin. So once again, my name is Norbert Lukwai. I'm an Android developer, computer science student at Uganda Martyrs University, and the lead for Uganda Martyrs University Developer Student Club. Okay, so what is the DSC? Developer Student Club, Developer Student Club are a university-based group of students interested in Google developer technologies. Here you learn, students, undergraduate, graduate, it doesn't really matter. But if you're interested in becoming a developer or growing your skills as a developer or stepping up to pro level, this is the place you can do it at if you're a student. If you've already finished school, there's a different program for you. It's called GGG. And yeah, you can join that one instead. So basically, DSC is based on the peer-to-peer learning philosophy where students teach each other what they know. Sometimes it's really hard to grasp if someone else is teaching you a new concept, maybe a teacher in front of the class, and then it's easier if your friend next to you explained to you exactly what the teacher meant. So yeah, that's what the DSC is built on. Okay, so the DSC program started in 2017 in India as a pilot program, and it became so successful because students really liked it. It grew, and people started building solutions that were solving actual problems for them in the local communities. And then Google decided, it's good enough to launch globally, and now it's in over 60 countries all over the world and over 800 universities. So we're kind of late to the party, but better late than never, right? Okay, so why should you join? Normally when people ask why, what they really mean is, what's in it for me, or what am I getting myself into? Well, let me tell you why. The developer student program is student club program is here to help students connect to each other. I know for a fact as a developer, I can find it sometimes hard to find other students that are interested in developer stuff, mainly because we're all introverted by nature. We're not really that outgoing, but this is a place where you can connect with other students, and not just other students. In your university, you're going to connect to students in other universities. You connect to people who are industry experts. Part of the DSC program, as part of the DSC program, we can get people who are Googlers or Google employees. to come and have a talk or teach you about something. So it's a way to really get your name out there. And also, if you're applying for a job, in my mind at least, I think that the best, the thing that can add weight to your CV is community involvement. If say you're applying for a job and you have 7 candidates and you all have stellar CVs, you have the same skills, what might separate you from the rest is community involvement. And what have you done for the community when you have no real monetary gain or anything like that? That for some reason matters a lot to a lot of employers. They say your network is your net worth. So as you connect with other students and other faculty and the rest, you're building your network. And then in that network, you'll be surprised. Actually, you shouldn't be surprised when someone gives you a phone call or an email like, we're looking for a developer for ABCD. That's all through networking, and it's a really important tool in the world we live in. The DSC is also about learning. If you're sitting there thinking, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to make an app, I don't know how to make an app do ABC. Well, good. That's why we're here. We're here to teach you, to help you learn. Basically, we're going to tell you the smallest things, the most trivial things that you might think. That might be a dumb question to ask. And in actual sense, there is no dumb question to ask, but those are the kinds of questions we want you to feel comfortable asking us. And if we have to, take baby steps with you, we will. We're here for a whole year, at least my tenure for a whole year. And I hope in that time, a few of you who have joined the club can say that you've grown as a developer. The next purpose of the DSC is to grow. When you've learned something already, the best way to tell if you've learned is if you can apply it and solve an actual problem. So the DSC, and that's when we say you've grown. If you can teach someone else your skills, if you can use your skills to solve a problem, we say you've grown, and that's why we're here. Here's a short video of what DSC's what a DSC in, I think, Ghana did for their solution. So take a listen.
When I came to first year, I found it difficult navigating a lot of facilities on campus. Most first year students, they found it a major challenge. So I said, okay, this is something that we really need to solve. The DSC is a community where students who are like-minded come together to learn technologies in cloud, Android development, and web development. So after a few workshops, I figured that we could solve as a...
Oh, well, looks like my internet doesn't want to play nice.
Accessibility for first-year students. We decided to use them more as a use case to build a navigation system using AR technology. At first, people were like, this is really a complex problem to solve. But then after we broke the problem down, we realized that all the technologies we had to use, we had already learned them in our DSC workshops.
When I heard about it, I was like, David, I need to join this project because I was lost basically the entire first academic year. And that's what DSC does. It gives you a project and it makes sure that you are well equipped to work on the project.
So we had a lot of volunteers and we broke them into teams. First, we had a Blender team to get a 3D model of the building. Then we had the Unity and Scripted team who got the models and made it interactive and available to the Android team, who built the screens, and the app and used Firebase, which stores user data and for business analytics. And we had a UI team who created a designer set and all the dynamic interfaces you see. Last, we had a documentation team who put everything into one file to make it available to the open source community.
My name is Paul, and I study chemistry. I got inspired by attending one of the DSC seminars.
I'm actually very impressed about my brother's journey here because as a computer science student, I just have to focus on the PC parts, computer building apps, but he has something else to do. But he's still taking some time off to help us and he's really doing a good job.
Now I can build Android apps. That means I can use that as a part-time job and maybe chemistry as my full-time job, or maybe the vice versa.
There were times that we had to meet in the evenings. There were times we had to meet early in the morning just to get the project working.
It was hard, but then we looked at the bigger picture and realized that, okay, we can do this, so yeah. DSC is a family and it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
What we've built is not a perfect app, but we've come a long way by being able to use the knowledge that we gain from our DSC workshops. My God, this is cool. Who wouldn't love this?
Okay, so what you just witnessed was the students at University in Ghana applying what they learned in the DSC workshops to build a real solution. They say it's not perfect, but as you can see, it was very comprehensive. What they did, even splitting up into sub teams to get it done. That's the thing with technology. The big problem can't be solved if you break it down into the smallest possible, pieces. Okay, so who should join? In the call today, I have invited as many people from many faculties as I can. I know that I have someone from architecture, business, and the rest. And a lot of them were asking, when they asked me, what's this club and who can join? Should I really join? Is this for me? They're kind of on the fence on whether to join or not. And I'm here to say that this club is for everyone. And it doesn't matter what you're currently doing. We're not asking you to make the jump to technology fully if that's not something you're comfortable with. All we're asking is that, you expand what you're kind of doing right now. So you can still be a business person, an architect, a lawyer, and still join the DSC and learn technology. So this is for anyone who's interested in the developer technologies. This is for anyone who wants to go from being a hobbyist or an enthusiast to becoming a professional and earning a living off this. And just anyone who wants to be a developer. If you're curious about how an app was made, you look at something in an app, you're like, wow, how did they do that? If you have that kind of curiosity, this club is for you. So, today, even if you're not doing IT or computer science, this club is totally for you. In fact, we encourage you to join more than the ICT and computer science people, because I feel like you gain more out of this than, we will. Okay, another reason why you should join is, technology is kind of like the sun these days. You can't escape it. You're going to go to sleep, the sun is not there. You're going to wake up, the sun is up, and so will technology. In fact, technology will be around even through the night. You can't escape it. And I guarantee whatever you're doing, an architect, a lawyer, technology is incorporated in your field, and you'd gain a lot more out of it if you could do what you're doing as a profession and also know technology. For example, the most successful, the most affluent, the most wealthy doctors in the world are the ones that create medical devices. I'm talking about pacemakers for hearts. I'm talking about implants for the brain to stop, certain brain disease. I'm not really a doctor, so I don't know. I don't know a lot about those things, but those doctors know the problem, the medical problem that people are facing. And they also know that technology can be the solution for them. technology can be the solution for them. So they go out and they make this and they make it safe, and then they can sell it to pretty much everyone because they know that this thing is a lot of the problems that patients have could be global as well. For lawyers, there's a series called Bull. I don't know if you guys have seen it before or not, but basically it's where this guy has a firm and they use technology, facial recognition, to learn people's facial expressions. So people in the jury, they can tell if this person is being convinced by their argument in a case or not, and then they work towards making sure that the person's mind is changed, and the client can get acquitted. That might seem far-fetched because it's on screen, but I want to tell you that it's not far-fetched. It's machine learning, it's facial recognition. It can be done. What they combine there is psychology and artificial intelligence, and it's totally something that can be done if it hasn't already been done. It's maybe something that you can do as well. Okay, and then finally, in today's world, it's very difficult to be just one thing. If you go and look at pretty much anyone's Twitter or Instagram bio, they'll probably list something like doctor, astronaut, ninja dad, or something like that. No one is just one thing anymore. No one can be just a doctor or a lawyer. You have to be that and then something else in the first space world we live. And this could be that extra thing that you do, that extra thing that you know, that extra thing that you can add to your bio. Even Mr. Solomon, who is going to be speaking later on, if you've checked his bio in the flyers we were passing out, you'll notice that he has quite the resume. CEO of several companies, and he's done a lot of different things. That's just the world we live in today, and you have to be more than just one thing. And then finally, this is a quote from. Oh no, this guy is one of the people I look up to most. Elon Musk. He is. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit confused. So this is a quote from Conor McGregor. He says that when he was asked about his talent in mixed martial arts, this is what he had to say about that. He's like, there's no talent here. This is hard work. This is an obsession. Talent doesn't exist. We are all human beings. We're all equal as human beings. And you can be anything, anyone, if you put in the time. So it's the same thing for being a developer. Just put in the time, and eventually it will work. If you're trying to kick down a door, I don't know why you'd be wanting to kick down a door, but for whatever reason, if you wanted to kick down a door, unless you're The Rock or in a Hollywood film, chances are you're not going to kick down that door in the first try, or the second, or the third, or the fifth. You might even have to call a few of your friends, come here, let's kick down this door. And then when it's finally open, you realize that it took more tries than you thought, and it took a lot more people than you thought. So that's kind of how life is. You need people around you to support you through what you're doing, people to help you get through to achieve whatever you're achieving. And in the case of the door, your friends and your tenacity got you through that door. I don't know what's on the other side, but I hope it was worth it, or you owe someone a door. Next, this guy, Elon Musk. I just put billionaire there because I think it's the best description of him. This guy is the CEO of SpaceX, Tesla, The Boring Company, and Neuralink. And all these companies are in probably completely different industries. The only thing that links them is him and the fact that they are, groundbreaking or game-changing companies. I mean, electric cars have been around pretty much as long as petrol cars have been. From the beginning, they've always been there. But he managed to do it different. He managed to do it differently. And SpaceX, I'll get to SpaceX later on. The Boring Company, it's a company that bores tunnels, and despite its name, it's completely not boring. And he built it. He came up with the idea for this when he was stuck in traffic in LA. Apparently, the traffic there can get really bad. So he's like, what if we go underground and have these carts that whisk cars around? You don't have to sit in quote unquote soul destroying traffic. And he did it like that. And then Neuralink, this is a company where he wants to interface the human brain with artificial intelligence for whatever reason. I don't fully understand it. I'm not going to pretend to. But one thing I take from all that he does is they're all groundbreaking. He's very bullheaded about what he does. He's very sure about what he does. And he makes sure he gets it done. And how did he start? He started with technology. He started as a programmer. He created a couple of companies. I think one was called Zip2, and then another one was called PayPal. I'm sure you've all heard about PayPal. So he made PayPal, sold it, got I think around $1 billion, and then he could start his other ventures. This might seem far-fetched. I mean, he is a billionaire after all, but the point is still valid. If you keep at something, you can succeed. And then back to SpaceX. I'm sure all of us have seen some rocket or something going up into space or whatever. But what happens usually is, in the old days, apart from the space shuttle and capsules, after the rocket reaches space and sends its cargo, wherever it's sending it to the moon, in orbit or whatever, the rocket itself is destroyed on re-entry. And he was like, this is the equivalent. Imagine if you took a plane to wherever you're going, San Francisco, London, or wherever. You bought a plane ticket and you took the plane there. And as soon as you reached, you got off the plane, you took your luggage, and then they throw away the plane. To get back, you'd have to use a different plane. It's like, imagine how much that plane ticket would actually cost. So he was like, we're going to make rockets reusable. We're going to turn it into a business. Because before this, it was governments that were doing space exploration. And he got a lot of pushback from people. Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon, and Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon, as so far. I'm very sure he'll definitely not remain the last. They were both like, no, we're not a fan of what you're doing. We do not believe in the way you're doing space exploration, and we don't want it like this. And these are his heroes. This is what he said. These are his heroes. Now imagine your heroes telling you that, say you're a football fan, and Cristiano Ronaldo sees you playing, kicking a ball around, and then you come say hi, and he's like, yeah, you know what? You're not it. This is not football. You're never going to make it in football, whatever. That must be completely destroying to anyone, really. But he had the tenacity to keep going. He had the tenacity to keep going with whatever he was doing until it stuck. So this is a video of him trying to land those rocket boosters. When they're coming back down, there's a crash. Here's another crash. This is now him trying to kick down the door. There's another crash. Completely destroyed. And then at this point, everyone's like, you know what? We told you, it's never going to work. Look at it blowing up like that. That's spectacular. But then he keeps on doing it, and he keeps on trying to make it work. Each time there's a crash, he lands. If you notice at the bottom left corner, they know why it crashed that time. This time it ran out of hydraulic fluid, and boom, it crashed. So he kept on going despite what everyone was saying about his company and whatnot. He kept on going despite his own heroes telling him, no, this is not it. This is dangerous. You're going to get someone killed. And, you just have to believe that what you're doing is it, and it'll eventually work. This next video is from 2018. He managed to, this was after numerous landings of that rocket booster. They perfected it now. They can do it on sea, they can do it on land. And they do it so well. They've even got a contract from NASA to send astronauts to the moon. No, to space, sorry. The moon will come after. Let me just play that back. So this is after a lot of crashes, and each crash, by the way, is a few $1 million at least. Maybe 65. I'm not really on top of the numbers, but it's a ridiculous amount for anyone. It's life-changing money for any of us here. But he kept on doing it regardless, and that's the kind of spirit that. That's what happens when you stick to what you're doing. Eventually, it will work. If you're still on the fence about being a developer, or you don't feel that it's for you, maybe you feel like you're not smart enough, or maybe you're like, no, but look, you just showed me a billionaire blow up a few rockets. I understand that it's a bit hard to relate to, even though he's South African. Here's another video that will hopefully change your mind.
Seorang developer startup syair bersama Android development.
Awalnya Hastu bukan merupakan seorang yang percaya diri, namun setelah dia ikut DSC, dia menjadi lebih percaya diri dan lebih tertarik untuk mendalami skill di bidang pemrograman Android.
Saya belajar membuat aplikasi untuk orang yang percaya bisa baca seperti saya.
Saya bangga dengan Hastu karena selama Hastu join di DSC, dia memiliki progres yang cukup signifikan.
Aku sudah bisa dari dokteran asal.
Okay, I really like watching this. I've watched it a bunch of times. I can't count how many times I've watched this. But every time I watch this, I have a pretty bad computer, and people who know me know how bad it really is. But every time I watch this video, I'm like, you know what? I have no excuse. Doesn't matter what I'm using, I can still use that. And this is a deaf girl from Indonesia who managed to learn how to become a developer and make Android apps for other people who were impaired. And for other people who were impaired, and she did this well, I don't know, it speaks for itself really. This is an amazing thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you think you can do or what you think you can't do. You just get stuck in. Just start right away. When we have our first meetup, our first workshop, just join in and dive in head first. This is technology after all. If you get an error, a build error or whatever error, it's not the end of the world. There's no one's life at stake when you join this. So just join in, dive in head first, and start learning, bettering yourself. And then Tessia, I don't know if you noticed, but Tessia is the DSC lead for her chapter, was at that time. And it's amazing what one person believing in you can do for you, because this girl thought that because she's deaf, she can't be a developer. But then here's this DSC lead that was not willing to give up on her and, mentored her. That must have been quite a challenge. I believe, I don't know how it really went down, but she probably had to learn sign language for them to communicate. But that's what DSC is. That's what I mean by peer-to-peer learning. The person next to you is probably the best person to learn from. And all these things were built by human beings. If I'm to subscribe to Conor McGregor's philosophy, all these things were made by human beings. Therefore, if I'm a human being, I should be able to do the same things that they do. It doesn't matter your situation or whatever. All you need is a laptop, some internet, and your interest. That's all you need. Yeah, that's not about that. I'm going to be moving on. Who should join? I think I already answered this, but let's just go over it one more time. If you're interested in developer technology, if you've ever wondered how snap filters work, if you've ever wondered how Facebook knows what you dreamt about and puts an ad in front of you, if you've ever wondered how a camera works, if you've ever wondered how an app was made, how a website works, this is for you. If you have one thing in your life that you think that can be done better, that can be done differently, this is for you. Probably your solution lies in technology. We all use technology. I firmly believe that we should all know how to use it. I mean, we all use oxygen. We breathe it in. Our bodies know how to use it. Imagine if some of us did not know how to use oxygen. It would be really disastrous. You'd have to buy. Okay, people do buy oxygen, but you'd have to buy oxygen or processed oxygen, or the products processed. The products of the products of using oxygen in your body from somewhere. It would be a terrible thing. So everyone should learn how to do tech. I have a teenage brother, and he's very interested in whatever I'm doing. If I'm making a video, he wants to learn. He wants to show me, Norbert, I can also do this. And then my parents would always tell me, Norbert, you're going to be the example. I'm like, man, you guys are putting all this pressure on me for nothing. You guys are there. You're going to do it for him. And I've come to realize that that's not true. Whatever I do, he wants to do as well. And if I decide to become, a gangster, drug lord, or whatever it is, he'll probably, follow, because he wants to prove to me that he can do it as well. So whatever I do, I'm making a logo for someone. He also picks, he borrows our dad's laptop and is like, I'm going to make this as well. Install for me this program. How does this work? And he's a teenager already. He started when he was 14, and for a lot of the world, that's already late. But then people are 13 in other countries. Bearing in mind the situation, people have different situations. They've already started developing, writing code. But the thing about development is it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter when you start. You can catch up quite quickly and do something amazing with technology. So I hope all that I've done, all that I've said a lot. I hope I haven't put anyone to sleep. But I hope that this has inspired you to join and to learn something new. Um, there's this saying, I don't know where it comes from, so I apologize to whoever coined it. Standing still equals going backwards. What do I mean? If I stood still today doing something, the world is going to keep moving forward. And before I know it, I'll be like, hey, but I knew how to do this. Um, well, now not anymore. When I first started out with Android development in high school, I went to my IT teacher. This guy was an engineer at UTL. This was mid 2014, so Android Studio was not yet a thing. Proper thing was still in beta, I think. So I go to him after the holiday. I'm like, sir, I need Eclipse. I want to start making Android apps. And the first thing the first thing I noticed was, his face lit up. It's like, finally there's some life in this place. But no, if you show, and he was very happy to help me. Both of them were, and they would dedicate that time, their free time. They're supposed to be marking papers. They're supposed to be preparing for the next classes. But in their free time, I had the whole computer lab with a big old smart board, and they'd be teaching just me. Why? Because I showed interest, and that's what I'm saying. If you're here, I assume you have interest, and I'll do for you. Actually, will do for you what my teachers did to me when I was first starting out. And yeah, I hope this has convinced you to join. All right. So in the coming months, this is now me assuming that you've joined and I have members. In the coming months, for this month and last month, this month and next month, we are supposed to, go through web development and cloud. So we're going to be having several workshops on each of the topics. And for anything you see here, I have to say, you don't need any prior programming experience at all. Just show up and start learning. We'll guide you through the basics of everything. If you do not know how to set up your computer for development, we'll show you how to do it. We're at home right now. The entire first semester is going to be virtual. That's a bit unfortunate, but we'll be posting videos regularly on our YouTube channel for anything you ask us to do. Because I know if someone asks me how to do this, another person might have the same question. And then sometimes, all these things are in the internet, but sometimes it's easier to ask the person next to you instead of going to Google it, and then you get a million different results, and then you don't know which one is the right one and which one is the wrong one. So if you have any question on how to do anything, just let us know. We'll prepare a video on how to do it and post it online in between workshops, of course. And then in November and December, we're going to start with Android and Firebase, Android Cloud and Firebase. Firebase is a database system, a serverless database system. If you study with me, you know the pain of writing SQL code and managing it and having it run perfectly. Firebase makes life easier, and I have to say I've used it in a few of my projects. I'm not sponsored to say this. I don't think I'd be sponsored to say this, but I fully recommend that you try it out if you're building anything. It's really amazing. And then finally, in January and February, we will have we'll have machine learning. So people who are interested in AI will have machine learning taught during that, and then we'll have the solution challenge, which I'll explain shortly. So this is a pretty rough roadmap of what we have in the coming months. It might seem short, it's only 6 months here, but it's amazing what you can do in 6 months. If you have extra time at all in your day, in your week, it's never a loss to learn something new. And then when you realize that the developer journey is much like life, a marathon, not a sprint, and you just take it one day at a time, you'll eventually realize that you've acquired all these skills and you can do a lot that you could not do before that. Of course, in between, I don't expect everybody to be up to speed, and in between, whatever on demand, you want to learn ABC, we'll find a way of squeezing that into the schedule and helping you learn those things. So onto the solution challenge. So the solution challenge is an annual contest, involving the DSCs globally. And what it entails is whatever we've learned in the months prior, we will now have to solve a problem local to us in our community. Our community could be Umo alone, like the students from Ghana did, solving a problem on campus. It could be for the village of Mkozi, whatever problems the people there might have. It could be for people in Uganda in general. It could be for people in East Africa or Africa, or you could change the world if you really wanted. The first year this challenge was brought up, there was a sole winner in the world. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. There was one winner in the entire world, and that winner happened to come from Uganda, and he studies at Muni University in Arua, which at the time was only 4 years old. I watched his presentation at last year's launch for the DSCA at UCU, and he was saying, I didn't even build like some perfect magical app. I've seen the solutions people from other universities have done all over the world, Germany, the US, places where these guys have resources, and these guys really do bring the heat, if you know what I'm saying. So they're doing stuff with robots and AI and machine learning, and then you're here like, man, can I compete with that? And my answer is yes, you can, and you can't beat them. Every year, the following year after this guy won, there was Google changed the format, and now there are 10 global winners. But then ever since, from sub-Saharan Africa, we've always done well. We've always had 2 or 3 solutions in the finals, make it up to the finals. Why? Because Africa, we still have a long way to go, and the solution you'd build for a problem here is most likely going to be a fundamental one, something that touches many people's lives. This guy's project was an app, an immunization calculator app that tells health workers what dose a child has received and what hasn't, and tells the parents when their children need immunization. And that got taken up because all over the continent, this is a problem everywhere, all over the continent. And as we speak, he has funding from the WHO, and the app is live in Ghana doing what it was designed to do. I don't know if he has managed to launch it in Uganda, but yeah, these are the solutions we can come up with. Our solutions here can solve problems for, like I said, campus, village, country, region, continent, and even South Asia. They're also not that far ahead. So you'll be competing with everyone in the world, but just know if your solution solves an actual problem, and that problem is faced by a lot of people, it can be education, it can be health, connectivity, it could be finance. Finance is a big one. It could be like for Hatsu and Tessia, it could be for people who are often overlooked in our society. The disabled, someone who has a disability or something, they're often excluded from technological solutions. If you can build something like that, I guarantee it will do well. And it doesn't matter how complex you think it is at first. If you have an idea right now, just write it down. You can send it to me. I can break it down into smaller chunks that can be solved. And I guarantee you, with what you'll be learning over the next year, you will be able to implement that. And of course, you're not going to be working alone. You're going to be working in teams, which is also another important part of the DSC program is teamwork. As developers, if you're going to be at a workplace, you're rarely going to work on a project alone. You're going to have a team of people that you work with to build that product. So it helps if you had practice with dealing with other people in teams. You know, this person is not pulling the weight, you know, is always late, under delivering. If you learn how to sort all that out, when you're ready for work, you will be, like I said, more hireable than the person who has been building projects alone. This is one of the solutions. I've showed you already so far 2 videos of solutions that students have built, but this was another one from Indonesia. So, you know, they're not playing around over there. They built a flood alert app because flooding is a big problem for them. I'll keep quiet now.
Saya dilahirkan di Bojonegoro. Ibu saya mendidik saya boleh bermain, tapi bermainnya itu nggak boleh jauh-jauh. Terus saya melihat kakak saya kebanjiran, yang paling parah itu tahun 2007, di mana rumahnya itu sangat tenggelam, banyak korban jiwa yang ditimbulkan, dan kakak saya itu kehilangan.
Kemarin ya lumayan, kemarin. Ya.
Kalau airnya semakin tinggi kan, nggak bisa lalu lintas kendaraan kan nggak bisa lewat, kita biasanya pakai perahu. Palingnya kalau udah agak parah lagi kita ngungsi.
Warga juga pasti resah, kalau enggak sebelumnya belum diberitahu kan resah. Kalau sudah diberitahu kan nanti ada persiapan.
Saya ketika kuliah di PENS ini, saya pertama kali tahu DSC itu dari dana. Seharusnya kita bisa menghindari hal buruk terjadi ketika kita mengetahui apa yang akan terjadi. Dana membantu saya sekali dalam hal tersebut bersama tim untuk membuat aplikasi L-Float.
Alatnya itu bersifat kayak misal di sini bakalan ada banjir dari pemerintah, bakalan langsung, tidak berdasarkan yang sebelumnya berdasarkan data kami, itu berdasarkan dari WhatsApp. Nanti setelah itu penduduk bisa ke posko terdekat. Di sini ada lokasi-lokasi poskonya. Terus kita bisa kayak ngeset arahnya belok kiri maupun belok kanan, itu ada. Karena kita memanfaatkan teknologi arahan juga dari Google. Oke, sudah selesai?
Oke, selesai. Oke. Kemudian kita mencoba ke sana, kita menunjukkan ke warga Bojonegoro.
Kalau sekarang kalau ada aplikasi ini kan bisa langsung masuk ke HP-nya masing-masing. Jadi semua warga langsung otomatis langsung tahu.
Di sini kita milih Balai Desa
Mulia Agung,
ya. Arah. Ya. Di sini kita bisa lihat di posko ini ada berapa banyak orang.
Membantu banget berarti ya, sangat amat membantu.
Iya. Ini rencana emang akan kami rilis untuk Bojonegoro.
Oh gitu ya.
This is the power of DSC. Students all over the world, we can learn and teaching together and also to solve local problems.
Dengan adanya aplikasi L-Float ini, saya merasa sangat senang sekali saya bisa membantu warga masyarakat Bojonegoro, terutama untuk kakak saya.
So as you see, this is a flood alert app. In the developing world, we don't have the warning systems that the first world has, and the reason why I think this app was showcased was that it solves a lot of problems for a lot of people. Imagine how many other places in the world Imagine how many other places in the world have people that need this sort of solution. So it's an app that can be downloaded for any community. Look at Sudan right now. They probably did not expect the Nile to burst its banks the way it did, and it came without warning for all of them. This app could have been a lifesaver for a lot of people. People could have saved their property, their business, their lives if they had something like this. So this is what the solution challenge is all about. It's not about making the next TikTok or the next Snapchat or whatever. Those things are fun and you can make them, but the solution challenge is about this. It's about making change in someone's life, making positive change in someone's life. It doesn't matter if it's one person, two people, or an entire country. Of course, if your solution covers an entire country, then you are more likely to have it be successful. And then another thing is, if you've built an app like this and it's working already, it's live, it's out there. One of the biggest problems app makers face is getting the word out on their app. If your app is successful, I can tell you help will come from all directions, from Google itself, from other investors. This guy got the Ugandan, I'm sorry, I forget his name. He got funding from the WHO. So this is what I'm saying, is you can build your app in your bedroom and work on it and all that. Then you have to now go out and market it and then convince some investor that this is the next real thing. This is the real deal. Whereas this, if your app is successful as a solution here, it'll get picked up by important people. It has been vetted through several stages to make it to the top, and they know that it's a real deal. Google has several programs. There's one called the Startup Accelerator, I think. It's where they help. It's where they help students learn how to. It's where they help startups get up and running. So they'll provide you with mentorship. It's not only about money when it comes to a startup. It's a whole lot of things. There are a lot of people who have done this before and they know what to do and what not to do. You learn from their mistakes, basically. So if your solution makes it up there, this could be for you. That has been my presentation. I hope it has been enough to inspire you to get started on something, any project. It doesn't matter what it is. I hope it has been enough to inspire you to get started. I hope you join the club and be an active member, participating member. Yeah, we'd love to have you. Someone just joined. I'm sorry, as I'm finishing. That has been my presentation. Thank you very much for paying attention. Yeah. Right now, I would like to invite Mr. Solomon Opio. Solomon, if you have something to say, yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay.
Please do be dropping questions in the chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Questions. If you have a question about A, B, C, D, I can answer them right away.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Hi, Solomon.
Okay. I'm not sure you can hear me well. I just want to make sure we. Okay. Thank you very much, Norbert, for the presentation. Yeah, it was was a lengthy but productive presentation. Thank you very much for that. I don't know how many minutes you will give me.
Listen, you have as long as people's data doesn't run out, I think.
Okay, we really can't tell what is happening behind there. We don't know, maybe someone is about to jump off the call in the next few minutes. But
yeah,
I will also take this opportunity to actually welcome everyone to this community, and being one that is coming in for the first time, I believe that what you hear today is something that can actually encourage you to to continue enjoying this. I would like to start by introducing myself. Solomon Opio. I have been to Uganda Martyrs University for quite a number of things. I am also a member of the Joint Advisory Group for TESEA. I can see Dr. Albert, I can see Peter in the call. Besides that, I lead a company called Soltech Digital Solutions. And under that, you find initiatives like the Binary Garage. But basically, what we do majorly is software development. And what I'm going to be speaking about right now, you will see the connection from where I started to where I am right now. First of all, my background is software engineering. I did software engineering in Makerere University, and of course we were the full come out. And I would say, while getting to the university, I can say that the first thing, I did not even understand the course that I was going to do. So I did not know what software engineering and all that was about. But you know how you're told there's this nice course, software engineering, and your dad is like, yes, go for it, that kind of thing. Then I remember when we joined, we were asked that after your software engineering degree, what will you be doing? What are you going to do? People had different answers, but the person who asked us did not even tell us what we should expect. So it happened like, okay, we continued to study. Now, one thing that we did not have is what this club presents right now. One, okay, just a component of it is that when we get out of the university, you have to define your life. But I've said this even when I came to the university. I remember speaking to students and telling them the university can only do so much. You do not expect the university to give you everything. I do not know how many students are in this call, but the university is going to give us what we are going to call the foundation for us to do what, for us to start. But the details of what we get into, what we get when it comes to the world of IT and all that, you will have to get that experience. You'll have to learn, get out of the university picture, to begin starting your life. So one, when we were done with the university, we were like, okay, we're now out there. I remember coming up with a software product, actually as part of our end of year project. The lecturers will tell you, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to be in this group in alphabetical order. So you'll find everyone probably in a team, all the names are starting with A. Probably the other one is, I mean, some other group has only B's, but what kind of skill set do we have in these teams that we have? Now, having a DSC in this university will actually give us skills that are required for us to do it. You'll need, as Albert mentioned, not Albert, Norbert. As Norbert mentioned, we're going to have people, not only IT. For you to be in a team, that's why he said this club is not only for people in IT. So when you're coming up with a software product, for example, you're going to have you're going to be in a team, and not everyone is going to be a coder. Not everyone is going to be a project manager and all that. So this is going to take us in that direction. So a brief background about DSC, maybe what Norbert did not mention. We used to have the Google developer groups all over. Some of them were also based in the universities, but along the way they were phased out. Now, what remained for the universities happened to be the DSCs. Now the Google developer groups changed to DSCs. One reason was because we're looking at having something that is led by students who are still within the university. That's why Norbert tells you his tenure, so that after 1 year there is a new leadership, and it's something that something led by the students and involves the students. So what is going to be happening is, besides having external mentor come and teach fellow students what they have learned, and that is the best thing we can do in order for us to learn. So when this was phased out, of course the university is phased out. We started looking at, of course, I would say more of student-centered. There is that kind of, I don't know how to explain this, but when something is led by students, there is more of that togetherness. You're free to interact. You're free to ask your friends questions and all that kind of stuff. And now, DSCs, this is the third year, right? Yes, 2017, 18, to have quite a number of students coming up with solutions and all that, all the brilliant ideas that can come out. So I happen to be a mentor for the Google developer groups and the DSCs. So I promise that there is actually going to be quite a number of great things that are going to come up. Now, I will get. I will come to. I will come to the bit of the first DSC to win a global challenge later on. But I wanted to tell us how we are going to how we can benefit from communities. I want to talk about communities as a whole. Let me make a presentation and show you where I came from. Let me just a minute. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to get this presentation on. I don't know. Can you see my screen?
No, we can't see your screen yet.
It's loading, but taking a while. I hope.
Technology, am I right? It stops working when you need it the most.
Just a few seconds. It's just taking long. See. I don't know why it's taking long, but basically
Okay.
what I want to, while it loads, I basically want to take us through a few things that you can actually pick out when it comes to, and how we can benefit from this when we take them serious. Okay, I don't. Okay, one of the things I hate is actually wasting people's time. You know, everyone is waiting for you. It's quite okay. Are we there? No, but you can tell me if you can see my screen.
We can't still see anything. Oh, and a side note, if you're turning on your video for this call, just so you know, it's being recorded and going to be uploaded to YouTube for those who missed. So
Can you see my screen?
No.
No.
No. Okay, while we wait for Solomon to sort out his technical glitch, I was saying, just so you know, this call is being recorded It'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel for those who missed, in case they want to go watch it again. And I hope you haven't been doing anything embarrassing if you had your camera turned on. Yeah, that's it. That's it from me. And while we wait for Solomon to rejoin, please go to your Twitter, to your Facebook, and use the hashtags. Use the hashtags, the ones I showed you at the beginning. Hold on, let me go back to them. Slide 1, or no, slide 2, whatever it was. There we are. Go show us some love on social media. Go follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. We will be having regular communications via those channels. And yeah, it'd be great if you could get the word out. Also, if you're tweeting, maybe you're tweeting how you're inspired by this talk and all that. Make sure to use the hashtags you see at the bottom there. Hashtag DSCUMU, hashtag developer student clubs, and then tag at Google Devs and at Google Students. Let them know we are here. Okay, they know that we're here, but let them know that we're really here and we mean business. We also have a WhatsApp group. A lot of people have been asking, what's the point of this group so silent? What's the point if people are not replying to texts? We were still setting up this whole launch event. So if you would like one more group in your phone, if you don't mind, we'd love to be one of those groups in your phone. So let me just share the link right now. So here is the link. Billy, Leticia, Audrey, the core team. If you guys could help me, also link the social media channels. I've posted it in the chat. You can click it and join our WhatsApp group. If you don't mind, we promise we don't do spam. We won't advertise pyramid schemes and quick cash schemes and dubious things. Oh, Solomon is back. So go join our group. I would love to have you there. We'd love to have you everywhere. One big happy family. Okay, Solomon, you're still on mute.
Okay, sorry, very sorry about that. Can I go ahead? I had to change my network.
It's all right. It's fine.
And yeah, now those are the disadvantages of online meetings. I see the number of participants have reduced a bit. Let me just try one more time to make this to share my screen. Then I can just run through it very fast. Then that should be it. Basically, we are looking at, okay.
Okay, here we go.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I wanted to tell us briefly about how we can make the best of these communities. Talking about communities, I'm not only talking about the DSC of UMU, but basically communities. So one, when you start, you should know that nothing can stop you when you have a passion for what you want to do. So you could be planning to have say your startup, or you want to do coding and all that. If you have a passion for it, you will definitely love it. So a bit about myself. I gave you a story of how I started. And then, of course, I happen to work with a company called Outbox Technology Hub. And now Outbox, when I joined Outbox, I was the community manager. And some of the things I learned were to do with consistency. Now, talking about people joining the DSC, the moment we have the DSC being consistent, let's say you have a meetup, say on Friday, 1st of March, the next is going to be say 1st of April. If you're consistently having all those, you will definitely learn a lot from this. So this is just an example. I wouldn't encourage something that happens monthly, but more frequent meetups would be something that can help. So be consistent in what you do, and that is those are some of the things that I learned when it came to running communities, and that's how I happened to learn some of the things that I did. When you look at this picture, I'll tell you about this picture. I hope you can see me in this picture. I could be so dark that you could not. You cannot. You may not be seeing me. But when you join a community, one of the things that we need to do is actually learn to share. Share your learning, whatever you've learned, and that comes from you having to help fellow students learn. Probably you have a session on a given day, and someone is coming to take you through Android, and yes, you're getting something, you learn something, and the next time probably you'll be the one to come and share about this. Now, why I talk about great opportunities is this has a connection with sharing online. Now, whatever you do, while you teach your fellow students, whatever you learn, make sure you talk about it. Nobody has been telling you to tweet about the things that you've been talking about. Tweet about the things that we are talking about today, and you cannot know the power of social media, the power of sharing generally. This picture you're seeing was I think that was the second time I was invited to the US by the Google team, and I can tell you that in this conference we had about 150 participants in this, but I was the only one from Uganda, of course, and we were only 4 blacks. I wasn't picked by the team, the Google team from Sub-Saharan Africa, but the global team. So because they noticed what I was doing, and they said, okay, this guy has to be here, and it's because I shared about what I was doing. So actually, this should be 2018, 2017, I don't remember. But that year I had that happened in March. Then of course I went and got I met so many other people in the US, and just a few months later, I think in July, they invited me again for another conference. And these opportunities, when you get to places like that, everyone wants, because I happen to be one among so many whites and all that, everyone is interested in what is happening in Uganda. All this is because of sharing. You have the passion and love for what you're doing, and you're willing to help others learn. So that was one of the things that we did, basically with the Google Cloud Developer Google Cloud Developer Community for Kampala. Now, this was one of the programs that we ran. So, learning to support others. You see the ladies who are standing over there. These were ladies who are part of our first cloud mentorship program. The cloud mentorship program was basically looking at nurturing people like from zero. From zero, you do not know anything, you don't have any knowledge about anything, but then you come and you're like, okay, I want to learn this and all that. Now, the group of ladies we are seeing here, you may notice mostly ladies in this. These were the Pi ladies, basically doing Python and all that. And now these girls who are part of the cloud mentorship program were trying to help them do what? Trying to help them get their code onto Google Cloud. So supporting one another will actually help you learn more. Now, if you're to look at these ladies and some of the guys who are not here, when it comes to the technologies we talk about, they're very good at them. And one of the participants of this program actually happened to be an outgoing DSC lead. That's for Monaco, and yes, yeah, I think he has also been part of some other communities and all that. But that's about supporting your friends. So when we join this club, get ready to share your knowledge with others, and with that you're going to be learning from each other. We cannot rely on lecturers all the time to give us everything. This was also a part of this was the cloud mentorship program. When you look at that, we are meeting after every 2 weeks, teaching people cloud technologies, and of course together with other Google technologies to help them in those areas. So when you look at this, when you talk of a program is not going to be a one-time thing that you're going to come and you come sit in, you have one sitting and go away. So when you're going to be part of a program, that means you have a work plan that after a given period you must have achieved something. So I'll also encourage, of course, as it will happen. That's why Norbert is giving you what you're going to cover during a period of time, and the moment if you cover all those, then you're on the right track. So basically that would be it about the communities. But I will want to share that one time I was invited by the DSC lead for Muni University, the one that Norbert talked about. So this guy came to me and told me, okay, I want you to come and run a session for us. And we're looking at leaving Kampala and running to where? Muni University is in Arua. Going up to Arua to run a cloud session. I'm like, okay, how do I run a cloud session just once? And I'm spending all this time, first of all, in the travel and getting to Muni University and all that, just for a cloud session, introducing a cloud session, and probably later on, if there's no further support, they may not learn so much. So I told these guys what we can do. Let me come to Muni University. Actually, that was after a period of time of really persistent asking. I'm like, okay, when you get to the Bible, there's where they say, when you where you come to your neighbor and he has locked, and then you're like, okay, you keep asking, and the neighbor will just say, okay, you have disturbed me. Let me come and do what? Let me come and give you, and it'll give you enough. So I decided to move. I decided to go, and I told them, instead of doing a cloud session, let's sit with your teams and we look at how you can actually make your projects better, how you can improve on your ideas and actually work on your presentation skills. So I had a day off, and I off to Arua. We had the whole day trying to interact with those guys, taking them through so many things. And of course, at the end of the day, they were very happy. Now, when the challenge, the DSC challenge, a global challenge came, they emerged the winners. Why? Because they understood why they needed to be one as a team, then the different dynamics of your teams, what kind of skill set is required where, and what kind of developers you will need for a given what? I mean, to bring to life a given product. When these guys understood this, and actually, of course, they kept giving me feedback. Some of them asked me questions, and these guys emerged the best. Now, for you to have funding from WHO, you're not just going to come from anywhere and they tell you, okay, this is it, have the money. Google published what these guys did, and of course, that is where the buzz all came. Came about, having that kind of recognition, and this is something that we can still do. So it doesn't. If someone may be like, okay, this is a global thing. Of course, Uganda cannot be anywhere and all that kind of stuff. But the moment you are serious on what you are doing, be consistent with the developer student club. You're going to have so many resources, just like Noba told you. A lot of resources that you can use, and as part of that, you will learn a lot of things. Now, about about Google Developer Experts program. Now, when it comes to this program, another thing that is required of us is to have, for you to become a Google Developer Expert, you are expected to have run several sessions. You have interacted with communities. You can have all the skill that you know, every skill that you know, but if you have not been giving back to community, trying to help your friends learn, and you also share about actually having to learn them is one thing, but then also having to talk about them, to share them. So what you do should actually be put out there. You know about Medium. You could join Medium and publish some articles on Medium. Just talk about what you have learned. Probably you came and took people through a cloud session. What you do, write about it. That kind of buzz. That is the only thing that can qualify you to become a cloud. Okay, I'm looking at cloud. It's a Google Developer Expert. The logo I'm seeing here is of cloud. That's why I'm talking of cloud. But having your knowledge, sharing it with others will actually help you learn more, and then it will earn you several opportunities that we can have. I would like to end there, unless we have any questions that you want to ask, if time allows. But I'm always available. I'm going to be always available to support the DSCs. Of course, I have several other. I may have other DSCs to also support, but remember, I'm also a member of the Joint Advisory Group for UMU. So I'm at your disposal. I personally, I would consider the DSC at UMU as my. I mean, I would consider you guys as my baby. So anytime I will be available to help. So let's get serious on this. Let's join, let's encourage our friends, and trust me, when you get out of this field, you have a lot to gain from. Thank you. Back to you, Norbert.
Oh, thank you very much, Solomon. That was very enlightening. Yeah, as Solomon said, we have access to literally the world, and including the experts he was talking about. So there's Google developer experts for Android, for cloud, for Flutter, for all these different products Google makes. Next up, we're going to have a talk from Dr. Albert Luswata. But before that, I have a question in the chat. Waswa is asking, could you kindly go over what is going to be done and when throughout these upcoming various sessions? So going back to my presentation, to the slide where I showed you the roadmap, we're going to be having sessions every fortnight. These are the sessions that will be advertised as the flagship sessions. Hold on, let me just share my screen. Okay, here we go. Can you see my screen? Okay, so September and October, we're going to be learning about cloud and web. Basically, in these individual sessions, we're going to take you from 0 to 100, quite literally. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter if you've never touched a line of code in your life. We'll be going through this. So we'll go basically just like what you go through in class. You start in the beginning of a book and then go to the end. So we'll be teaching you the skills that are most in demand. After the basics, the skills that are most in demand are the ones that you can actually use to solve a problem in cloud and web. And then following that, people who want to make an Android app, we'll teach you how to do that. With web and Android, there's Flutter as well. We'll be teaching Flutter as well. Flutter cuts across Android, iOS, and the web. So we'll be teaching those as well. Actually, let me just show you guys a snapshot of what Google does. So if you see these slides, these are the products they make. There's Android, Cloud, Firebase, Flutter, Google Assistant, Maps, TensorFlow, Web, Google Ads, Analytics, Google Play, YouTube. For each and every, actually there's even more than that, but for each and every single one of these, you can build something. You can make your own version of the YouTube app. You use Google Analytics to see how a business is running, what your followers, if any of you are influencers, in YouTube there's analytics, how long people watched your video, what they clicked on, what worked, what didn't. Same thing for Instagram, Facebook, and the rest. This works for business. Google Ads, how you can make an ad and run it. If you played a game or have an app on your phone that you didn't pay for but has ads, that's what it does. Web, it's pretty self-explanatory. Websites. TensorFlow, this is machine learning. You can actually train your own machine learning model using this, and we'll be teaching you that in February, January and February of next year. But basically, you can teach it to do whatever you like. You just feed it data and go. It's a little more nuanced than that, but that's the gist of it. And it would be probably easier like maps, Google Maps, how you incorporate maps in your website, or maybe improve a map. Like there's a road that is not mapped on Google Maps, you can add it if you want. There's Google Assistant. You can add commands. You can program your own commands into Google Assistant. We have the usual, set a reminder, set an alarm, turn on the lights, turn off the lights. These are all things Google Assistant does. But you can customize it to do a lot more than that for your app if you have an app. And Flutter, as I said, Flutter is a very powerful tool. You write code once and you can deploy it on the web, on a website. You can deploy it on iOS, although Apple will definitely make you jump through a few hoops before it's on the App Store. And then you can also deploy it on Android. And it's all made to be a lot easier for you to develop and manage many versions of your app, and also design very, very beautiful UIs. That's what Flutter is for. Firebase, I mentioned this. This is an online database service that Google has. I first learned about this at Google I/O Extended at Outbox in 2017, and I didn't even know how to use it. But like, I have to try it out because it sounded like something I needed, and it's true, it's something you need. And you can host all your databases for all your apps. Say I have a database for a delivery app. I can have one database and then all my versions of the app pick from that, the versions of iOS and of Android, or maybe even the delivery man's version and the customer version all in one place. And then it does a lot more than that. It gives you what are called cloud functions. You set them up, and if something happens, say a new entry is made into the database, you can have it do something. And then authentication. A lot of us do not think about this. We just sign up, sign in into anything we're doing. But you realize very quickly when you start developing your own system how much work it goes into that. It's one of those things that are usually not thought about, except for when they don't work. When they don't work, people will definitely notice that your authentication doesn't work. Firebase makes it very, very simple for you to do it. I don't even have to design a sign-up screen if I don't want to. Google Cloud. Solomon here is the GDG Cloud compiler lead. I think he's the best person to talk about the cloud. But basically, the cloud, you upload your code and maintain it up there. You can, how should I put this? It's not the cloud where you keep your photos like Google Drive and whatnot. It's a different kind of cloud for developers. And then Android, finally, making apps for Android. Here we will learn two languages, Java and Kotlin. Kotlin being the baby of Google. It's a new language. I'm still getting to grips with it, but Google's really pushing for it. And in fact, they even made it so that you can write Kotlin code that will run on iOS and Android. So kind of taking the market share of Flutter a bit. So this is basically it. This is what you will be learning in these sessions. And just tell me, think of anything you want to build something, and I can guarantee you that you will find the solution in these. You can explore this at your own leisure. I don't want to keep people here for a long time. I'll just leave the link here in the chat. You can explore this at your own leisure. Sorry to keep you waiting, Dr. Albert, but whenever you're ready, you can take the floor.
Thank you, Norbert. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on my journey. I was invited when I had already arranged this journey, so I'm on my way. There might be background noise, but I hope you will bear with me. I want to be brief. I am here also to represent Professor Max, who is the lead of the TESA project. I would like to salute everyone and to congratulate you upon this noble club. I must say I'm very delighted about this DSC club. I usually have ethics classes with the IT students and I challenge them what can they do to help resolve many of our societal problems, and I think this club is meant to help in that direction of innovation. I liked also what Norbert said, the interdisciplinarity of this club, because innovation comes also with its interdisciplinarity. It's very easy when you interact with people from other disciplines to come up with new ideas than when you keep yourselves alone as a discipline. So this is a very good call. And I'm again delighted that this club is associated with the TESEA, because as a project, one of the tenets of the project is to prepare students to be innovative. And as a project, we thought one way to provoke this innovation is to come up with the clubs like this one. And I'm very, very delighted that you have come up with this idea. You are aware, like you said before, you can't learn everything in the classroom. So outside the classroom, we can have these activities like the clubs and you learn new things. You realize, like we said before, there are very few innovations that come from Africa, and yet we have very bright students like you. But you realize we don't have platforms where people can innovate the way other countries, especially the Northern Hemisphere, and also in Asia, do. And there are so many informal innovations that people come up with, but they end up either not supported or being stolen by other people and use them with their names. So I want to assure you that you have a very high potential, and this club will help you to take us far to solve societal problems, especially with the technology. And I'm very glad that you invited Solomon. Like he said, he's part of our joint advisory group, and this is the area where I'm very sure he has vast experience and will take us far. I just want to, I know that he has always been talking about innovation hubs, and I think this is the real one of what he meant, and I think as he has promised, he's going to help to mentor us. Maybe one thing I want to ask Solomon is to help the students in this club on how they can patent their innovations. There are very many people out there who steal others' innovations, and I know a lot of innovations would be provoked in such a club, but they need to know how to patent them and how to go about them. So I don't want to be lengthy. I want to once again congratulate you. Maybe going forward, I wanted to say it is good even when we have such meetings. No, but I know this is not a criticism, but a way to even better our activities. It's important to have maybe an agenda. Then we know what activity takes what time and what when. It would be very important. But also, you have said very many beautiful things. But I felt if you had that interaction with those participants would be very important. Instead maybe of waiting at the end. It helps. I know you are not a teacher, but these are things that we learn along the way. I want to thank you so much for the invite, and I want to pledge our support both as a project but also as a university to this noble club. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Oh, thank you very much, Doctor, for attending at such short notice. I know it's not easy when you're asked overnight, come speak at this event. And yeah, I will take your advice on having an agenda for the following meetups that we'll be having. It's an oversight. I mean, you learn along the way. now I don't have a lot. I don't have anything else to say except people seem to be having trouble using the community platform. And just quickly, I know you've been here for 2 hours now. Just quickly, I want to show you how to properly use it. Maybe you can tell a friend who failed to attend, because we have 26 members over there, and not everyone managed to, because I sent the link. I can't be sending out the Google Meet links because for fear of spammers, someone joining your call and just causing chaos. So it's safer if you get the Google link via email through the communities platform. So I'm just going to share my screen now and show you how to do it. I hope you can see my screen now. When you go to DSC, the communities.dev, you can first of all search right up here. You can search for a chapter. You can search for Uganda Martyrs University. You will find us there. And then when you're there, just click join us. When you click join us, you've joined the club. Usually you haven't created an account in the communities platform, so it's going to ask you to either sign up. I'm already signed up, so I'll just log in immediately. So now you are a member of the club. Any new events will appear up here in upcoming events, and you will get messages on upcoming events. And then when you get those messages, all you have to do is click RSVP if you're already a member. I apologize for the noise. Just click RSVP, and all you have to do is sit back and wait. When the time comes, you will get a reminder. I set the reminders. You get reminded however many times I choose to have you reminded via email. So going forward, just tell people it's as simple as that. It's like signing up for Instagram and then following someone. That's all. That's all you need to do. And with that, I'll just ask that you share the word with your friends. It doesn't matter what they do, like I said. Just tell them to come check out what we're doing over here. And like Dr. Albert said, innovations come from all directions. And I do have a story on that, but I think you've all had enough of my stories for today. I'll tell that another time. Thank you all very, very much for coming. You can follow us on social media. Do not miss any communication. Join the WhatsApp group. All the links are in the chat. If not, I'll share them again. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us this evening, and thank you very much for sitting through 2 hours on a Friday evening. Yeah. You may
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You may leave at will, or if you have a question, I'll be around for a few minutes answering them in the chat.